everybody, it's Kyle. As you can hear, I'm coming to you from my car. Guess where I'm at? If you were going to say waiting in the parking lot during an open gym for volleyball for my daughter, you would be correct. Yeah, it happens a lot. Again, she's trying to figure out what she wants to do. I think we've got it pretty narrowed down at this point, but she just loves playing volleyball, man. I mean, that's all the more there is to it. And then on top of that, we've got my son. My wife went to a thing of his tonight. He is going to do this special arts program this summer, and we secured someone to pick him up and take him and bring him home every day, so we don't have to stop work, go do that, and come back, which is going to be huge. So yeah, we're going to throw the kid some cash. Obviously, because gas money and all that stuff and his time, but it's easily worth it, for how much easier that'll make for everybody. And the kid's like, you don't have to give me any money, I'm going anyway. And my wife's like, nah, we'll help you out here. And so you're helping us out, so we're going to help you out. Anyway, that's kind of cool. So that's going on. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just been busy, man, and it's not going to get any less busy anytime in the near future. So there you go. Last night was the first open gym at the high school that my daughter went to, and it was the area high schools, and it was kind of cool because this girl that was on her club team that was just kind of horrible. I don't mean bad. I mean, she wasn't great, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying she just is not a good team player, and she was very critical of everyone else, but, never critical of herself. And to be honest with you, a lot of the lost points and stuff like that could be chalked up to her. It got so bad that in the second to last tournament that we were in, the coach finally said something to her, because enough parents had brought it up, and pulled her. And so she was riding the pine most of the time while other girls were playing. Well, guess what? For the very last tournament, she didn't even show up. Yeah, and her parents were down with that. They thought that was fine, So they're really teaching their daughter well. But anyway, that girl will be playing on a local high school team. Now, that team is pretty good. Probably better than the team my daughter's on, but that doesn't mean she's better than my daughter is. Because I can tell you, Audrey has really transformed into something special when it comes to volleyball. It's a lot of fun to watch. Okay, well, so there's some more good things that are happening to me, right? I guess that's kind of how I started off at this point. Good things that are going on in my life, right? So there's some of them. But yeah, that is a good thing, and it is very positive. It's been a whirlwind scenario with trying to get her set up to play and get things moving in the right direction so she can, make that high school team next year. That's what we're really looking for, and I think she's going to be able to do that. So we're feeling a lot better about that scenario. But good things that are happening to me, everything's fine. I really don't have anything bad that's happening to me or bad that's going on. Mostly everything is pretty good. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that really sticks out as, oh man, that was awesome. Other than the fact that I just have a good life, It's been my pleasure to run these kids everywhere and get them involved in their things, and it's just fun to watch them grow and to become these fine young people who are going to be successful at things that they want to do. It's really cool. So that's awesome. I'm pretty excited. That's what's going on that's good in my life right now, guys. I do have some information to talk to after the break here real quick. I'm going to throw it over to Kyle, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about some things that I'm into. Hey, Kyle. All right, and we're back. Okay, what am I into right now? Well, I did pick up a couple records over the last week. I didn't really plan on it, but it just kind of happened. I happened to be at a Walmart with my wife, and I ran in there to get some super glue, just because it's not too far from our house, to be honest with you. I mean, it's far enough away, don't get me wrong, but it's not too far, you know. It's pretty quick for us to get there and just stop in on the way home or whatever and grab something like that if we're running low on something. So I stopped in there and was looking at, I always stop by the vinyl section wherever I go. And lo and behold, there is a Sturgill Simpson album. His first album, actually, I think it's called Metamodern Sounds in Country Music. And it's great. I had heard it before. And I was like, yeah, you know, I want to snag that one when I get a chance, because it's really got a good look to it, or a good sound to it. Sorry. Somebody's trying to text me at the same time. Jeez. It's really got a good sound to it. And I just, you know, I like him. I like Sturgill Simpson. So there you go. But I picked that one up. It's awesome. And you know, it's funny. He does a cover of The Promise, which is by an 80s group. I'm trying to think of the name of that group. What is the name? I went and looked them up too, because I was like, I know who this is. But he does a really good cover of The Promise. The group is When in Rome. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I promise you. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, but if you wait around a while, I'll make you fall for me. I promise you, I will. That song. Yeah, Sturgill Simpson does a cover of that song on this particular record, so it's really good. We were sitting there listening to it, and I was like, I remember this song. I could just kind of tell by the lyrics. Dude, this is from the 80s. And so April was like, really? Yeah. And I was kind of singing it to her this way, because it doesn't sound the same exactly. And then I played this for her, and she's like, oh my God, that's what that is. I'm like, yep, pretty wild. But anyway, it's a good record. And then I happened to be at a Target yesterday, and I just kind of ran in there. My daughter had bought something there and just needed an exchange. I think it's just like some, you know, little volleyball shorts or something. And so she needed an exchange because, they actually had a tear in them, and she didn't see them when she bought them. So I went in there and got those, but of course I stopped by the records. Lo and behold, there is Combat Rock by The Clash. I love The Clash, and I know that album, some people really didn't care for that record. To be honest with you, almost everybody did like that record. I mean, Rock the Casbah is huge. And then Should I Stay or Should I Go? Huge. And that's kind of what I led in with, is Rock the Casbah at the beginning of this podcast. But yeah, man, I spun that sucker last night, and it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just love it. So a couple of really good records. I think I'm up to 361 now. So I'm just going to sit tight, because June 18th, we got the second record store day for this year. And then in July, I'll be getting that Frank Black and the Catholics box set. So I really need to lay off. I say that all the time. So there's that. That's what I've been listening to lately. I would like to get a hold of a copy of the Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, or whatever. I really like that. And Mikey and I were talking about that this weekend. And man, that's good. That's a good record. I would like to have that one. That's it on music, really. What have I been watching? Well, that's easy. I watched those first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan, of course. Obi-Wan Kenobi, on Disney Plus. And, you know, I like it. I'm not super crazy about the acting abilities of the main female baddie. You know, I like the character there and everything, but I'm really, I don't know. I'll continue to watch it and see what happens, obviously. But wasn't too impressed with her acting skills. But But she's here to stay, so I best just get used to it. There's 4 more episodes. I think there's only 6 total episodes, so yeah. And then there's also, they have a child and a little girl, and again, little kids, it's tough. And I was actually talking to my buddy TV about this. He and I were talking, and he said, man, I'm not too crazy about that little kid either and her acting, but I just hope they don't treat her horrible like they did with Jake Lloyd, And that's the little kid who played Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace back in 1999. But that kid really has had a rough life since then. I don't know if he died or what. I know he really had gone into rehab. He had a bunch of problems, man. And I feel for him too, but he really got bit by that Hollywood bug and just kind of went the wrong way. But people were so critical of him too. And don't get me wrong, he wasn't great, but really, if you want to find out wherein lies the fault of anybody that was in those original 6 films, I can tell you right now, it has to do with the writing of George Lucas. If you had to deliver those lines, you'd have a tough time too. And if you go back and watch those movies, man, some of the lines are just atrocious. And I know I've talked about that on here before, but God dang. So I don't entirely blame Jake Lloyd on that, but he's not a super great actor. Yeah, so we watched that. And now we've watched the first 2 episodes of season 4, part 1 of Stranger Things also. And I will say, I really like that. I like the way they've gone this season with this. It's way darker. It's more horror than they have been before now. And I just dig it. I dig it. I am glad it's the last season, man. Everybody's just getting too old. They're getting too big. They're not little kids anymore. So it's time to move on past this. But I'm really liking it so far. Again, I'm only 2 episodes in it. I think there's 9 total episodes. So there's 7 that came out for Memorial Day weekend. And then there's 2 remaining ones that will come out like July 1st, I think. But every episode is over an hour long. So it's really, it's a big, ending to this whole saga of Stranger Things. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. But I'm digging it so far. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else as far as, I really need to watch The Northman. It's available now, and I didn't make it out with Mikey to go see it, but he saw it, he watched it, got it on pay-per-view or whatever, and he liked it. He said, man, it's just as odd and everything as any other Robert Eggers film. He goes, it's just as strange as The Lighthouse or Witch, and so I'm excited about that. I like both those films a lot, so I'm glad that it's like that. Let's see. Reading. I'm not really reading anything new that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, I did though. I did download a free Kindle book today. What it is they, since I'm a member of Prime, they let you download free books every once in a while. And so I was able to do that today. I'm trying to find the book here as I talk about this that I want to tell you about. But I'm pretty excited for this one. Oh, that's it. It's called The Peacekeeper. And what it is it's really a trip, man. I'm trying to think of the synopsis on this, but if I remember correctly, the general gist of it is that colonization of the United States never actually really happened. And this is a murder mystery that takes place in that alternate reality of the American Indians running everything here and all that jazz. But it just really looked interesting to me. It's kind of a sci-fi, alternate history story, right up my alley. So I'm excited to read that one, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, I know. You know me, man. I'm not going to read anything normal, guys. And then I haven't really read any other comics, just the same stuff I've been talking about in that respect. Let's see, podcasts. Same old, man. I mean, really nothing new there either. Mr. Ballin podcast, of course. I did continue to listen to Something Was Wrong, and I do like it. It did kind of come around for me. So I'm excited to continue on with that. I'm also listening to the new season of Someone Knows Something, and this particular season is about those situations we know about where it's doctors who perform abortions and they get murdered by supposed pro-lifers. I don't know how you can be pro-life and kill somebody, but hey, what else? So, yeah, it's really interesting. I don't want to get into all that on who's right, who's wrong. All right, but that's kind of what I'm into right now, guys. I do want to stop and say something real quick here. I didn't do a special report on it or anything like that, but the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, happened after I had recorded the previous episode. And, you know, that's really a horrible situation, and I cannot imagine being in that situation. I can't imagine how far down the hole you must go before you go do something like that. What I also cannot imagine is allowing someone with mental illness who just turned 18 go buy an AR-15. I really don't get it. I'm not calling for the AR-15 to be removed from people's hands or even for them to stop selling it. What I would like to see is more responsible gun ownership in this country. And people might say, well, I am a responsible gun owner. Okay, look, if you own like 40 guns, you're not a responsible gun owner. Okay? You're kind of a fanatic, and you need to open a museum, all right? That's not responsible gun ownership to me. There's nothing wrong with owning multiple guns. I mean, I have two. I have a shotgun and I have a 9mm, for home protection. I also do like to shoot trap. So that's why that shotgun's there. I was given that one. But I don't think there's anything wrong with owning a gun. I don't think that people that are on the no-fly list should be able to buy a gun. I think they need to, if people are given a gun as a gift, even in the family, I think they should have to fill out paperwork and register that gun. If people are buying guns at gun shows, I think they should have to fill out. I think anytime you sell a gun or buy a gun, you should have paperwork that's tied to it that ties your name to that weapon. That's just my opinion. I think if we start doing that and we start trying to control that a little bit better, then we're going to change how some of this shit is done, because it's not working the way it is, guys. And you can send all the fucking thoughts and prayers in the world that you want, but that doesn't mean shit to these people that have just lost a little kid. Or their wife that's a teacher. I don't know if you heard this. One of the adult teachers that was murdered in that shooting, her husband died. He had a heart attack a few days after that shooting. And it's horrible, man. It's horrible. So I'm not going to get into which party's better or anything. I don't want to get into politics. We all know who stands where on this, okay? I'm just saying, as a human being and as an American, let's fucking change this shit up, because it doesn't work the way it's going, man. It's broken, and people are dying. And yeah, people die of other things too, that we can't control. This is something we can control in this country, and we can become more responsible with weapons. And, nobody needs to be able to buy bump stocks. Nobody needs to be able to buy these modifications, bump stocks, or even, large capacity magazines to make these, weapons for murder. And that's really all they are at that point. Nobody's fucking hunting with that. Nobody's, using that for home protection when it fires off, a dozen rounds in a couple seconds. So I think we just really need to rethink what it is that the Second Amendment is about. And the Second Amendment is about something in the past, guys. Do we still have the right to bear arms? Absolutely. Is it a good thing? Yeah, I think it is. But the way things are going, it's bad. And something has to change. And I'm sorry if you are a responsible gun owner and you love to collect guns and shoot guns and you've done nothing wrong. I'm sorry. But sometimes when things are real shitty, we have to make changes for everybody, you know? People threw a shit fit when they required people to wear seatbelts too. But then look how many lives that has saved. And yeah, have there been some people that have died as a result of wearing a seatbelt? You betcha. As soon as a majority of the vehicles that are on the roads in this country are self-driving, watch at how deaths in automobile accidents plummet. And then once that happens, man, they're going to make that shit mandatory too. It's going to save insurance companies a fortune. And it's going to save people a fortune. And it's going to, more importantly than all that shit with fucking money, it's going to save lives. So, if your representative is not going to do what the people want, which an overwhelming majority of this country wants some gun reform, if your representative is not going to handle that and do what you want, and they're in the pockets of the NRA or whoever in order to keep as many guns on the streets as possible, you need to fire their ass. You need to vote. I don't care what party you are, vote for the other party. Look, man, I would. I have voted for the other party several times. I do every single election. There's at least a couple of situations where I do. I don't give a shit about what party. I give a shit about people and what the people want and what I think is best. And yeah, they're not always going to agree with me on that. I don't care. Democrat, Republican, Independent, it doesn't matter. They're not always going to agree with me. But I'm going to choose who I think is best for the job. And I'm going to choose to vote for the things in the way that I think it's best for everyone. Not just me. Everyone. So I suggest you start doing the same. And you really think about it when you vote on these things. And I would hope that we could all come to the decision that we don't want to see, 19 little kids get slaughtered in school again. We don't want to see that shit again. Let's fucking do something about it. All right, guys. Sorry to leave it on that note. That's all I got. I will come back to you guys next week, and hopefully I'll have some new stuff to talk to you guys about. But until then, if you would really do me a huge favor, and get off my lawn.